Have you ever felt like you were slowly disappearing just to make everyone else comfortable? Meet Maya, 32, marketing manager and chronically apologetic. You could bump into her and she'd say sorry. Animation, Maya juggling files, a laptop, and phone all fall as someone bumps her. She says sorry while the other person just walks off. Maya was the quintessential good girl, raised to please, trained to never disappoint. But beneath her reliable exterior, a storm was brewing. 60-hour work weeks, toxic team dynamics, family obligations that never seemed to end, and a boyfriend who couldn't be bothered to look up from his phone when she spoke. Maya said yes to everything even when she was screaming no inside. Her mother's voice, sharp with disappointment. You don't even care about your own family anymore. Taj, her boss dumping last-minute projects on her desk, her boyfriend scrolling through social media as she tries to share about her day. She thought love meant saying yes. That respect meant staying quiet. That peace came from pleasing others, but all it gave her was silence in return. Her boss lashing out in front of the entire team. Maya apologized profusely. Again, visual. Maya staring blankly at her laptop, tears quietly falling. Rain taps gently on the office window, mirroring her inner turmoil. One night, it all came crashing down. A forgotten report. But something inside her cracked. And for the first time in years, Maya took a deep breath. Scene, Maya in the office bathroom, mascara streaked, staring into the mirror. Her reflection feels like a stranger. She whispers to herself, I'm so tired of being sorry for existing. That night, she skipped her boyfriend's party. Instead, she found herself walking into a yoga studio she passed 100 times before. No one expected her there. It was the moment everything began to shift. To her boss, this workload isn't sustainable. Not the suffocating kind that had been slowly drowning her, but the kind that heals. To her boyfriend, with calm clarity, I need a relationship where I'm not begging to be heard. Maya started saying no. To her mother, I'm not available every weekend. At first, people pushed back. Some were angry. Some ghosted her entirely. But others, they started looking at Maya differently, with respect, with curiosity. She found silence. Maya picked up her paintbrushes again. She slept through an entire weekend without guilt. She caught herself smiling for no reason at all. Visual, Maya walking alone on a beach at sunset, hair in the wind, face calm, the waves gentle. One evening, a text from her old boss lit up her phone. We miss your energy. If you ever want to come back, Maya read it, smiled, and hit delete. She used to chase approval like it was oxygen. But in choosing peace, she finally learned how to breathe. Over tea with a friend, they asked her what changed. Maya lifted her cup, a quiet strength in her eyes, and said simply, but as weeks passed, the entire office dynamic began to shift. Productivity increased, burnout decreased. Her mother's guilt trips intensified, her siblings accused her of being selfish. She joined a local art class, reveling in the messy joy of creation without judgment. She tried salsa dancing, laughing at her own missteps and relishing the freedom of movement. Maya stood her ground, reminding herself that love shouldn't come at the cost of her well-being. She found herself surrounded by people who celebrated her growth rather than resenting it. Slowly, painfully, a new family dynamic emerged. One built on mutual respect rather than obligation. Maya approached relationships with a clear sense of her own worth, no longer twisting herself into knots to please a partner. She learned to enjoy her own company, finding that solitude could be just as fulfilling as companionship. Her boss, initially resistant, began implementing her suggestions for a healthier work environment. She thought about the long journey from that rain-streaked office window to where she stood now. It hadn't been easy. There had been tears, sleepless nights, and moments of gut-wrenching fear. The future stretched out before her, full of possibilities she'd never dared to imagine before. And Maya was ready to embrace it all without a single sorry in sight. But Maya had developed tools to weather these storms. Meditation, journaling, long walks in nature. Maya felt a deep sense of gratitude for the strength she'd found within herself, for the people who'd supported her growth, and for the simple, profound joy of being unapologetically herself, and mementos of her new life. As she settles onto her couch, a gentle smile plays on her lips. And in doing so, I made room for others to do the same. She learned to sit with discomfort rather than immediately trying to fix it or smooth it over. Colleagues, inspired by her example, began advocating for themselves. Her younger cousin called, seeking advice on how to stand up to peer pressure. Even her mother, after months of tension, admitted that she was proud of the woman Maya had become. I stopped asking permission to be myself. The constant anxiety that had been her companion for so long had faded to a manageable whisper. She stood taller, spoke with more confidence, and most importantly, she felt at peace with who she was. On-screen text, "Your peace is more important than their approval. I've heard so much about you," the young woman gushed. "They say you're the one who changed everything around here. How did you do it?" If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe for more engaging stories, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Music swells. Soft piano turns into a cinematic crescendo, emotional and slow. Maya's journey didn't end there. Each day brought new challenges, new opportunities to stand firm in her newfound strength. She learned that setting boundaries wasn't a one-time act, but a daily practice. At work, she initiated honest conversations about workload distribution. Some colleagues resented her at first, accusing her of not being a team player. With her family, the road was rockier. In her personal life, Maya rediscovered old passions and explored new ones. Her circle of friends shifted. Some drifted away, uncomfortable with her new assertiveness. But others, drawn to her authenticity, entered her life. Dating became an adventure rather than a chore. There were still moments of doubt. Days when the old urge to apologize for her very existence crept back in. 1 year after that fateful night in the office bathroom, Maya barely recognized her old self. At a company event, a new hire approached her, eyes wide with admiration. Maya paused, considering her words carefully. "I stopped apologizing for taking up space," she said finally. The ripple effects of Maya's transformation extended far beyond her own life. As the sun set on another day, Maya stood on her balcony, a cup of tea warming her hands. But as she looked out at the city lights twinkling to life, she took a deep breath, savoring the moment. Final scene. Maya turns from the balcony, walking into her apartment. The camera pans out, showing a vibrant space filled with art, books. Remember, your story isn't over. It's just beginning, and you have the power to write it exactly as you choose. Fade to black as the music swells one final time. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe for more engaging stories, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it.